What's up? What's up? What's up, everybody? It's your boy G Waters, and I'm excited to be on this episode today. We have the one and only talented Mr. Junior Scaife, also goes by the name of DJ. Welcome to the Soul of the Streets, my brother.
Hey man, how you doing, dude?
I am doing great, great, great. I'm just focusing on the light because that is something I've been listening to that song on repeat. I did it for like 8 hours, like straight. I was working. And I drove 8 hours listening to that song. That song is so it just feels good. The lyrics, the music. Did you produce and write the song? I mean, I know you wrote it, but did you produce it as well?
Well, no, I mean, kind of, but let me say, so I wrote the drum part, the keys, the synth part, all the background vocals in the lead. I did have engineer, a guy who helps me, he co-produced it with me.
Okay,
So,
amazing job.
His name is Seth Richardson, but yeah.
Amazing. So DJ, how you are an amazing musician, singer, songwriter, this overall performer. You're from Alabama.
Yeah.
And you done came to New York to make some things happen. I mean, you done moved a couple of places making things happen. Everywhere you go, things just happen. So how when did you realize that these things could even happen for yourself?
You know, that's a crazy question. I don't know. I just always wanted to sing, and I wanted to do my best at it, no matter where I went. My dad used to tell me in church, but he actually tell me at home when I was practicing on the piano, that your biggest audience is God or the Holy Spirit, and that so that you take that with you everywhere. So that means that no audience, no show is too great, no interview is too much, no thing is too big, because it all doesn't matter. There's a greater goal for the performance and for the music, I feel like, and it's about feeding the people, feeding their souls. So I feel like, that's what I focus on. And somebody's touched. I come to find out that people are touched, and they'll tell you and they'll show you even better.
Right.
Yeah.
Definitely. I mean, anyone who has experienced you on stage performing in your element, it's just, I mean, it's one of those things that you just will never forget, never, ever forget. So, when did you realize you could sing? What age was it that you realized you could sing? I know you said you wanted to sing, but when did you realize you could sing?
That was 5.
5, okay.
Yeah.
You remember the first song you sang?
Yes, actually. Yeah. Somebody prayed for me, had me on their mind. I'm a little sick this morning, but it's okay. Took the time and prayed for me. Oh, I'm so glad they prayed. I'm so glad they prayed. I'm so glad they prayed for me. That I used to lead that song.
I know that's right. That's definitely that's some Alabama singing right there. Song singing right there. My grandma. That's southern. That's that southern touch right there.
That's what it is. And my mom's on the piano. My sisters, my aunt, my grandmother, my grandfather were all in the choir, and my dad was a pastor. So we were singing we were rehearsing in the car, at home. It was a constant. Music just fills our lives,
right.
even still to this day. So we'll break out in the kitchen singing songs. Like, you remember that verse? Remember that part? And I went home this year. I just did a concert the third Sunday in November, and I entitled the concert "Focus on the Light." It was to commemorate coming out with the song, and I had a community and a family choir all come together, and we packed out my father's
church. I know that was crazy.
That was crazy. And we didn't even need to rehearse them. I just told everybody, hey, these are the songs we're singing, and we're singing them how we used to sing them back in the day. And everybody came, and it was great. But that's the start of it.
Nice.
Yeah, in the church.
So, Focus on the Light is such a great song, great message. What inspired you to put that song out and to come up with it? And just because it's like it can be a movement, like you said, you had a show called "Focus on the Light." I mean, that's such a statement in itself, and then to have a song to follow it up, and a great song to follow it up, is even more amazing. So, what made you make that such a statement for you musically?
I wrote this song. I was living in London for a little while, but it was during the pandemic, so I got locked down at my cousin's place, and
Mm.
I couldn't walk for almost 2 weeks, about a week, because I had a really serious flare up of plantar fasciitis because of thinking I was cute, walking around New York in boots instead of having
Oh.
shoes. But also I've had issues with that for a while since I was a kid, really. But
Mhm.
I like my ankles and they kind of went out, like I couldn't walk. And I was just sitting in the bed, had to crawl to the bathroom or to the kitchen. And I remember thinking, how in the hell am I going to get out of this? Like, what is this about? And so you're thinking about, I don't rot in this bed and my muscles are getting weak, everything. And then I'm like, how can I, at this point, what do you do when you don't know what to do? And focus on
Someone said that we stand.
we stand. Oh, hey, you stand and you focus on the light. But focus on the light came a little later. It actually started out, it was party out your life. And so I was coming from the idea of like, oh, celebrate or think about the good times. And I'm like, hold on,
Mhm.
there's something, you can say that, but I feel like there's a lot of cliche, like the cliche things lose some, punch, but there are certain um, themes in life that people may do a lot or talk about all the time, but they still ring true. This idea of focusing on the light or standing. When you don't know what to do, you just stand. Because that's true. That's actually whether you're coming from religiously, psychologically, sociologically, focusing on the light, something bigger than you and I, something energy source or something we all can tap into. The sun, that's where you have your breakthrough. You
Mhm.
know, the idea of the darkest hours just before day, but weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning.
Facts,
Light.
facts, facts.
Okay, so it's that piece of yeah, yeah. And the sun, she's always gonna be working in the sky. She ain't worried about us.
So
She's gonna do her
focus
due
on the light.
diligence.
It's just a matter
Yeah,
of just focusing on the light, whatever that light is for you.
for you, yeah, and whatever brings you through. And it's a lot. And then when you just even say it, you can think about okay. Oh well, there's maybe a few. There's actually quite a few things in your life that if you focus on it, bring you life. And focusing on those things brings about, it's like focusing on the solution rather than the problem.
Right.
Or I saw this meme and it said it was a broke down church's chicken.
Mhm.
And the girl said, if you if you see a boarded up church's chicken, know you're in the wrong place. And so, no, you're somewhere you ain't supposed to be.
Right.
Then the other guy said, I see a real estate opportunity. I see a business
Mm.
opportunity. So you see,
Two different perspectives, and both
yeah,
right,
yeah,
and both of them are correct. Because
yeah. Both of them are correct. Yeah, both of them are correct. You're right about that.
that's dope. That's dope. So now that you've been focused on like when you focus on like how long did it take you to get your breakthrough with for your ankles and to be able to walk again?
When I wrote that song, and I was sitting in bed. I don't know how much longer it was after that, but I got up. It wasn't too much longer because I laid there
I know
probably.
that's right. I mean,
Yeah,
that song make you just get up. Like it's like you can't sit down on that song.
okay, but there's a second part of this that's actually a little bit. That's the real deal of the lyrics. It's still the deal on the lyrics because I had all different types of things. But I got a call from some Sugar Bar family, Alan Slatus. And, well, he's the one that called me. But it's Alan and Albert who are Sugar Bar family.
Mm-hmm.
But Alan called me, and he said, "Hey, I'm doing some work with Nancy Pelosi and with the Kamala Harris campaign, and they said there was some song or something they had, but apparently got around to Alan. Did he know anybody? He said, "Yeah, I know somebody who can do something." And so he called me, and they wanted to use a song for the campaign. And so it was only maybe about 2 or 3 days before the election. So I called my friend, went to the studio, and I just said, because I already started work, I already had most of this music done this summer when I was in New York. So when I got back, I said, oh, wow, this is the song. You know, just these little being prepared. He's preparing me for something I can't handle right now, whatever these steps.
Right.
But we get the song together, and I changed the lyrics. And I had to go, I was in LA actually at this time. And so I had to have my co-producer send it to me out in New York. Then I went to the studio out in LA and recorded the vocals and redid all the vocals right before. And I said, you know, open your heart, you know, wipe the tears from your eyes, get ready for a breakthrough from on high. People, our world is in pain. Hate and destruction still remain. We have a charge and responsibility to never go back like it used to be. You know, these kind of elements that I feel like our country and our world need to be focusing on, particularly since everybody's hungry now. There's a lot of people that are hungry. There's a lot of people that are scared for their lives. There's a lot of people that are scared for their children's lives. That's the same thing. So when I wrote this, I was like, okay, this is it didn't start out as a civil rights anthem or anything like that. But once I finished writing it, I said, oh, that's what this is. This is an inspirational song.
Yeah.
It can be for any country, any movement,
anytime.
Anytime. And, you know.
In any place.
Anywhere, you know. So that's what it was. So anyway, so of course, Vice President Harris didn't win the presidential election. However, I was at home in the town, Opelika, Alabama. You know Opelika, Alabama. Black woman is running for mayor. And we became friends. And I saw her at a Martin Luther King event when I went home. And we were rehearsing for it because it's going to be in January, but we rehearsed in November when I went home. And we were just talking. I showed her the song. And so I think they're going to use it for her campaign. So
nice. That song is gonna find a placement. It's gonna find more homes because the song is just amazing. I wouldn't be surprised if it makes it on all types of commercials, and it's one of them type of songs that just makes you want to be better, feel better, live better. It's just like dance better. Like it just makes you want to just do all things better because it's like it's nothing, and it hasn't been a song like that for me. From new R&B, like hearing it for the first time in a long time.
And you know that's why I love it, G. You know the history of the music,
Yeah, because it's like that's the feeling that I got from our legends, like it's like you captured that essence of the musicality, the artistry, the lyrics. Like it's like Stevie Wonder, Johnny you embody all those greats, and then you are still relevant in how you make it sound. The music sound when you put it out, like it's always a meaning. The music always doesn't sound dated. Just a feeling of what used to be, but you're doing it in today's time. So that's like just dope.
Thank you.
Any visuals planned for it? I know it's probably too early. You just want to see where the song's gonna go, and then maybe build on that. But any early plans for a visual?
Yes, and you will know when I have something.
Nice.
When it comes out.
So, with that being said, who are some of your influences, vocally?
Vocally,
you do so much. Vocally, who are some of your singing influences?
My main singing influences was my mother, really.
Okay.
Yeah, my mom and how she sang in church. After that, I think it would go to Shirley Caesar. I can name like top 5 because these are really Shirley Caesar, Peabo Bryson, Daryl Coley, Walter Hawkins, Aretha Franklin.
Oh,
Donny Hathaway and Stevie. Those are like the main. Whitney, yeah.
so do you remember the first time you because I remember the first time when I heard like Donny Hathaway's voice, like not just his songs, but because his songs was always on the airwaves, like when I was growing up. But when I actually understood what a voice like could do, do you remember that first time you really heard his voice?
For Donny?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Because
And what song was it for you?
Someday We'll All Be Free. Because
That was my song.
yeah, that it was one of those songs, just like When You've Been Blessed by Patti LaBelle. When I heard those songs, I said,
Yeah.
"Oh, I know what." So I don't need religion. I know what God is. I know what that idea. I know what that is. I can feel it because when this song plays, it happens to me. And Someday We'll All Be Free was that. My father used to make me sit down at the piano, and he would go, and he would make that one. He was like, "Nope, that ain't it." You know, go back through that one because I mean, it's a special tune, but also it ended up being the songs that auditioned and got a full tuition scholarship with.
Nice. Well, I ain't get no scholarship. That's my first song I ever sang. But that's I ain't get no scholarship.
Ah,
I ain't get the
yeah,
scholarship, but I got to sing the song a few times and it touched me every time I tried to attempt to do it. So I mean
yes,
that's dope. The lyrics in the song in itself just makes you wanna, you know, it's one of them songs. I get it. I get why you even write the way you write and sound the way you sound now.
yeah. It was them. Uh, it was just something. I saw. My mom played piano too, so there was something I saw about she could. It was like I don't know. Well, maybe not somebody who's flying a plane, but this happened with Miss Val. Valerie Simpson is another huge influence of mine.
I was going to
Because
ask you about that because I got to see you perform with her on her holiday special concerts, and you did amazing. Everyone did a phenomenal job. I wanted to get to that. See
okay.
what was that experience? You know, once you finished answering saying what you was about to say.
Wait, I was like, yes, I definitely get into that. But it's her playing in this way, and I think it's definitely like a female gospel pianist kind of thing, or just pianists in general. That's different from the dexterity of many of the male pianists. And Aretha Franklin, Valerie Simpson, uh, Mary Lou Williams, Hazel Scott, Dorothy Donegan. These are women, amazing pianists. But you know, Aretha and Valerie were singers and writers as well. So when they play, it's kind of like an orchestra anyway. Some things are piano parts, but really when they play, they don't need anybody else. They don't need nobody's help, whatever. Because interlaced into the piano is drums, organs, horns, everything.
Everything that fits flows right
Background,
in.
yeah. And their voice, and then what they do, their voice is tucking in, telling the story too, but also, you know, getting punches coming out of there, rubbing stuff over, smoothing out. So it's a whole thing happening. And so that kind of musicality was what I was always attracted to. Of course, Stevie and Downey do that too, but uh, there's something about Aretha and Valerie that I just, you know, with my mother being my main influence,
Mm-hmm.
I just, you know, felt them more.
No, but you could definitely hear that in Valerie's music.
Yeah.
In their writing styles. Like even like I can hear it on Focus on. I can hear her influence in the
Yes.
playing on Focus on the Light. Like
Yes.
those grooves sound like because I when I spoke with her, I wanted to, I forgot. It was so much that you can like talking to her is like talking like you get to talk to her for for years and still have more questions to go. But it was like I was trying to get a understand like the grooves, like, and I think you just said it, like you can hear. I guess that's just something that because you have that gift as well, like the way the chords and the lyrics and the melody flows in those grooves, like it just leaves room for this more fire to be placed in the track.
Yeah.
Background vocals, like oh my god, like y'all kill those. Y'all be, I mean, y'all make a melody and a rhythm come alive.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Every time I'm with her, specifically, when I'm able to sing and play background. I mean, sorry, to sing and play piano. It's really a joy. Full circle to be listening as a 10, 11-year-old, going ding ding, trying to get those rhythms.
Mm-hmm.
And here I am, 20 years later, playing behind her, and then
Look
her,
at God. Look
you
at
know,
God.
traded. So, no, it's special. There's nobody in the world like her.
None
None,
at all. I
none,
mean,
none.
we just to be amongst that type of musicality, and then the successes that she's been able, her and her husband Nick Ashford, the late great, has been able to accomplish, and just write songs for all these amazing icons who, it's just like, wow.
I found the picture. I got to tell my mama to send it. When I was 18, no, I was like 16. We used to
Mm-hmm.
have Celebrity Day at school, and I dressed up as Nick for Celebrity Day.
Wow.
And I have the picture of it. It's funny, but I didn't. But none of my peers knew, but all the teachers, they were cracking up. They knew it.
So were
And
you like ahead of your time as a child growing up? Were you ahead of your time?
oh yeah, I'm getting ready to tell you. This is the story. This is what's crazy. So when I was 5, I used to. Everybody said he's gonna be a preacher. They didn't know he was really a performer, but everybody thought because my dad's was gonna be a preacher. Valerie had no, sorry. My grandmother gave me a Bible, and okay, she gave me a Bible. I was 6. For my 6th birthday, she gave me a Bible. Fast forward all these years later, I'm at home in January cleaning out one of my rooms or something, and my grandma said, "Oh, here, honey, you remember this?" I said, "Oh, thank you, my Bible, whatever." I close it, whatever. I come back up to New York. I open the front of it, and it has written in my little scribble when I was 6 years old. Reach out and touch somebody's hand. Because we used to sing at church at the end, and I just always loved that song. It's one of my favorite songs. And
Mine too. We got the same favorite song. That's why you are the one.
you get it. So I showed Val that. She goes, "What?" I don't know. For her, she thought it was so funny. She just laughed hard, and she said, "Oh, this is hilarious." I said, "I was 6 years old. And I wrote this in this." Yeah, and I haven't showed them the picture of me dressed up as Nick.
Oh my God! When is that? That's gonna come. When is that coming?
I don't know. Maybe that'll be in the book. I'll put it in the book.
Oh my God! Well, you gotta show it now. You gotta show the picture because that's gonna make the moment even better.
Yeah.
So are you working on a project?
I'm working on quite a few things right now. One of my own, like inspirational. I want to do an inspirational album. Um, kind of in the theme of this focus on the light, but also kind of in the world of sounds of blackness, kind of what Kirk Franklin used to be doing. Sometimes maybe is. I don't know if I should be talking about people like that, but whatever. And then
The early recordings of Kirk Franklin.
Yes.
Why we sing the
family, yeah, like that.
Okay.
Like that.
Like praise and worship type.
Well, not even specifically gospel or Christianity. But when in the focus on the light thing. To where they're inspirational messages. But I used to I had a teen choir when I was in junior high and high school that started called Voices of Faith. And I want to work on that theme. And that's the project I'm working on now. As well as the soul, sweet soul, the West Coast soul. Some of that I'm still doing out with Penrose out in Riverside, California.
Now, and you also have a collective, the Yams, DJ and the Yams. What's going on with you with your band?
Well, we just played Barlow Nautico, was a popping spot in Brooklyn. It's great. On December 10th, and then January 3rd, we're gonna play New Blue.
Have you ever put out multiple projects at the same time?
So long I have.
Wow.
But they were like little singles. But what it is the thing. You work on them whenever you work on them, and then they get released. Sometimes they all come out in 1 week or whatever, but they get released at different times. But I feel like I'm always working on, always working on something because it's, always evolve in something.
How do you look at the process in putting music out today? Do you like this process where you can just upload your music and at any given time, or like does that excite you, inspire you at all, or would you prefer the older way of doing it?
I do like that musicians and artists you can go straight to the consumer, or you can go straight to your fans, and straight to your audience. I do like that. You don't need a label to do these kind of things. I like that piece of it. I do believe, though, with that, there's a flooding of the market or saturation of the market of bull crap, you know. And so with that, it's just a lot more fish in the sea.
Right. Well, but that just means you just gotta flood the market with more of you.
And that's what the point is. So there's no limit on what you can put out. And I remember looking at Nancy Wilson when she died. She did 80 albums. And Dionne Warwick might have done close to that too. They was just out here. She was like, the music you have to, the only way for them to know who you are is for you to be out there. What's your fingerprint? Because, all those people in those different parts of the world where she goes to tour, at one point they didn't see her, but they had to have a way. But now the internet and the way that we upload music makes it much easier. I do like that process of it.
Yeah, I think it's a blessing to have it this way, opposed to the other. Because everyone gets a shot, because the gatekeepers don't always let you get in the gate. So it's like you gotta create your own way of doing things, and finding ways to show you how interesting you are as an individual musically and all those different things. So I think now, I mean, you still gotta, I'm sure it's always great to have, major backing if that's in the plans or whatever. Okay. But I think it's way better now, because if you're always on a go and you always got something going on, you get to make that, showcase that and get more eyeballs on you, or all the eyeballs that are checking you out get to really see what's going on and spread the word, organically. So I think it's been a blessing, honestly.
Yeah.
When I look at it.
Yeah.
It's stuff we can complain about, but it's like, for what? You know what I mean? We got to focus on the light.
Focus on the light. And I'm going to tell you another thing that I said is, I do feel like there are elements of things from back in the day that we maybe should have never thrown away. But those things, I feel, they were positive anyway. They got thrown away. Who knows why? Whatever it is. I think
you want to name those? You want to name them?
Yeah.
What things?
One thing is, like, I'm going to talk about it right here. And this is Nancy Wilson who said this.
Okay.
And I think it's just, she's also another influencer there because she's coming up. She says, when they started, music died, I think Betty Carter said this. Music died when they started bringing in the 16-track, recorder, a drum machine. Yes, in one way, because not necessarily, I'm not thinking about the sounds, but this is what Nancy Wilson says, that when you had before that on the 8-track or the 4-track, but mostly 8-track, everybody came into the room that day. At the downbeat, you were ready. You sang, the string part, the backgrounds, everything. If it was out, if it was off, your ass was either fired or, whatever it was. You didn't have, because you had the tape, you had somebody right there. So what went into the music, went into those recordings, was so much more gumption and, rehearsal, all that kind of stuff. People cared about the finished product more. There was more that went into it. There was more spirit. There was more light, I would say, that went into it, because everyone had to record that music. You had to be there. You had to show up, and that I believe that the opposite of what they say, many mental illness or many forms of sadness or depression, the cure to that is connection. And so I feel like in a lot of the music that now is famous at the top, that much didn't go into it, and I'm not even saying that somebody didn't work hard,
right?
That somebody doesn't love their music or love what they do, but it's another kind of It's the same thing of having. It's like this. It's like an interview in front of the person or Zoom. That's the difference with a lot of the older recorded music, and that's why I love recording the tape, analog, because what that picks up and that je ne sais quoi, that good stuff that we love, that thing on Aretha when she goes, oh, and respect.
Mm-hmm.
That even though when Beyonce says freedom or whatever it is, it hits, but it don't hit the same hit because the way the way it was recorded,
Yeah,
it brought
it
back
doesn't hit
the
you the
world.
same way, especially if you know Aretha's version. If you know Aretha's anthem, like it's a different time,
It's
different
a different time and
generation.
right.
Yeah.
So and then also what was happening, how our artists were more socially conscious in that time. Many of them were, because they didn't have they had to make a choice really, because you didn't have the internet to have your own little page and you can post one little virtue signaling thing, or it was less about
And
you
the
had to make a
souls are
decision.
different. The soul is different
Yeah,
now. Like it's like it's because everyone has a soul. So I don't want to but the
yeah,
music, our genre of R&B is of soul music
it's true.
isn't as soulful anymore. It's like it's less of soulful people creating the music now. But I don't.
These producers many of the producers are not choir directors out of church, you know what I'm saying? Or they're not,
Yeah, the wrong
or they're
people have
not
gotten in.
musical
The
theater
wrong
people.
people are in. The wrong people are in control. That, and I won't even say in control. It's like they just don't understand the essence of soul music the way it used to be. Not that it has to stay the same or whatever, but it's like we are, as Black folk, we are soulful people. Like it's like, and
Yeah,
we still have a sound that we yearn for, that we want, and that sound, that feeling isn't there. And
yeah,
R
yes.
and B like it used to be. R&B is still there, but I was listening to a singer, and the tone and everything was great. The tones were great, but it's like when it's time to go to the next level, like they just didn't go to the next level for the voice, the song, lyric. It's like everything was like straight.
The I have many theories on this, and the great Stephanie Mills,
Oh, I
she
love,
speaks
that's
about
my
this too.
favorite female singer of all time.
Yes, you did. I remember you talking about this. She is definitely she's up. She's one of my favorites too. I love her.
We have a lot of favorites. Like, see, you can have a lot of favorites of that time
Yeah,
because they all were amazing. Like, you know what I'm
this is
saying?
what I'm talking about. But to do that now is like almost like sacrilege or something. I don't know. But
Yeah,
Stephanie Mills says, they want R&B, they want soul, just not from us.
yeah.
That has something to do with it too, because okay, in the '80s you had Glenn Jones, Peabo Bryson, Stevie
Oh man,
Wonder, and what's the name from the Whispers, and Lionel Richie, Michael Jackson, George Michael. You had now at the Grammys, no matter what, Fishbone, no matter, you had a kaleidoscope of different types of male vocals, and specifically black male vocals, who were all across the board, different types. Alexander O'Neal,
yeah.
you had, but, and I don't know what exactly this is. This is part of, I did write a report on this at school about hip hop and the changing of the industry. Um, as far as like, what the face of a black male artist is, because it drastically changed, from Stevie
And the
Wonder to,
sound of a, like, beyond, and not just the face of the sound of the voice, the quality of
yes,
the range of the
of the instrument
vocalist,
and the
I mean, it's
brain.
just
Also the intellect of the black male artist that has started to dwindle. So it's like, I mean, it's a whole piece, and it's just like, uh, R&B is not dead, but the diversity of it. Nobody, okay, everybody. I have to say this. I'm going all across the world, and I'm gonna go again. But when people ask me what they want to know is, they want to know, how do you do that thing in your voice? How do you reach it? And I'm like, that. I'm just singing my style of music from the church. I just know the history. I'm like, oh, that sounds like this person. I'm like, well, actually, no, it's that person. So I just know my history. So in my voice, you hear my studies, or you hear my that. But these types of voices are not in the airwaves anymore, and I just don't understand why not. I am, and I'm going to continue to be more, but
Right.
and it's more, and it's more. I feel like we don't have a diversity of different vocal types. It's also happening in the Black church too. Everyone's singing kind of in the same produced, pristine, certain. I don't know what it
I
is.
think when everyone was so big on coming together, that once everyone started coming together and all different nationalities and races came together, we kind of it kind of got dumbed down, like melted
Yeah,
down, like because everyone's soul is different. Like it's like everything. Like if you have Aretha and Ray Charles have a baby, that baby should come out very soulful. It might come out, but if you have Ray Charles, I don't want to sound racist or nothing, but
yeah.
if you have, I don't want to say.
You don't know. You don't know because even Ray Charles and Aretha might have a child that becomes an engineer. Yeah, I don't know. But but I know what you're saying. It's who's being cultivated, who they're being
Right.
cultivated by. Yeah, who they're being cultivated by. I don't know.
That's why the
Oh,
Soul Streets. That's why I do the show, because like I get a chance to display, to showcase the feeling of the music that I grew up listening to, and not that the music is like, because it's a lot of music out here. It's a lot of music out here to draw from. So my show is like an hour. So when artists like yourself put out music, it opens the conversation for these types of moments,
yeah.
because you are not just I'm not just talking about music. I'm talking to somebody who not just we're not just talking about music. You create the music, you know what I'm saying? So you understand the fight, because you're fighting to have your music heard by those same type of people that want to hear it back in the day, and those people still exist today.
They're out here. They are out here, Gus. They are, and it's getting to them. And so, another thing, I went home and I realized, okay, there's a group of all these, like, 60 plus, which 60 ain't old now, but 60 plus that don't know necessarily how to download songs. And they don't have no Spotify, and they don't have no damn Apple Music, and they're not getting it. And so, but they'll come to a concert and buy merchandise and buy a CD or a cassette. These kind of things is like, there's no reason why we don't need. The only reason we don't have like CDs and cassettes is not because, oh, that's old, don't do it. No, it's because for this consumerist nation, this capitalist nation, they're making new stuff now. You don't have the this change. It's about money. They're changing the ways that people consume music. They can control which way that people consume music and where the money goes, which ain't into the pockets of the artist. Because if you make your own CDs and cassettes, you can get that money back in real time and see your work.
Right.
It comes right back to you like that.
And that discourages a lot of soulful artists, and their pursuit, how they pursue
Yes.
putting out their music and stuff. So sometimes we don't, because they don't feel like they're gonna get paid if they put it on these Apple Music and all the Spotify's. Like I was talking to one lady, and she was like, I don't put it on those platforms. I sell it direct to consumer on CD Baby or whatever. It's a different. I think it was Bandlab. Bandcamp.
Bandcamp. I did.
Yeah.
I did Bandcamp. But then I learned something. Yes, when I first put my first album, I put it on Bandcamp, and people can send you direct tips and all that stuff. And that was about, I put it up there, but then I didn't put it anywhere else. And so another thing is that you kind of have to do both, because if you don't put it up in anywhere else, then the world that's out there, the part of the internet that is the light, the reach, they can't get your music. So you have to kind of do both. You can sell, your CDs at your shows, sell your cassettes and all that. That's what I'm learning. I've had to do. That's what I. It's
That's
like,
what I was going to also say too. Like if once you learn your way, and because everyone has to create their own blueprint. So once you figure out what your blueprint is going to be, and you find a way to merge them all together, like you have. I mean, if if you don't expect, I mean, you should expect something. But if you don't expect something, if you're being realistic in the times and everything, you can make it work. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
like, I see you working and recording, and you know, you have your band. Like, you have a lot of different I would say passive income, that passive music um uh, situations that you can
Yeah.
express yourself, just to keep it interesting, not just for yourself, of course, but then for the people that's listening to you. You're not just, you know, doing it one way. You're doing it a lot of different ways. So that's one thing I always respect about your grind, because you don't just do one thing. You know what I'm saying? It's that same feeling with everything you do, but you do it in so many different ways, and the way you spread it out is just dope.
Bless you. Yeah. Yeah. I've
You
always
That's like you are one of the ones that's doing it right. You know what I'm saying? Like, you getting the great opportunities because you're making the great music. You have the great talent. Like, you know, it's like you're not just somebody who's taking the gift for granted. And I don't think anyone's really, I don't know
Mhm.
who's taking their gift for granted or whatever. But it's like you are making soul music, which is your music, live again,
Yes.
and
Yes.
everyone
Yes.
appreciates it, that gets a chance to be in the presence of you and your gift, because it's just an experience that you have to experience,
Bless you.
however you do it, if it's at a concert, if it's on a CD, if it's on a streaming. I had it on Apple Music on replay, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, it
Oh,
works.
sorry, Your Honor.
Oh, no problem, it
Go
works
ahead,
for
sir.
me.
Yeah.
The Apple Music song work for me, then you're gonna be performing it someplace else, and it's
I'm
gonna work there. It's like, and then they're gonna want to buy it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just making people interested in your gift.
I'm telling you that when I went to the studio, I said a series of prayers, but even when I uploaded it, and this is one of the first times that I experienced, what you put into something, like what's going to come out, whatever that spirit you put into something. Every step of the way, when I did every step, actually going back, and when I did the piano, every part that I wrote, I said, okay, I'm sending this, or I did that little push, I gave it that piece, and so when I uploaded it, you know, I was like, oh, okay, and I knew this song wasn't going to, that it's we're going to need it for a little bit later. It needs to be out now for the record, and I released it on election day. But we're gonna need this song is gonna show up a little bit later in a big way. And I know I'm the vessel for that, but that it has something to do bigger than me and you.
But that
But we're
also
all
goes to
included.
what you said. What you said, like, you do it for God. Like, that's your biggest
Yeah.
audience. Like, no matter, so you're always ready. Like, when that pen get in your hand, or however you write your songs, like, you're already you have the foundation already for that type of song. That's why that type of song can exist, because you was raised the way you was raised
Yeah.
with the gift. You are a unique artist. Like, you are really one of one. You know, so it's a lot of great singers and a lot of great songwriters and producers, but not everyone's messaging is uplifting life. You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
I think it's on purpose too. Because it's not a lot of everybody can. This is the one thing I know everyone can do. So it's and so many artists and
and
singers.
do it well.
Yes, do it well. Similarly to that's what is so amazing to me about Ashford and Simpson is that almost all of their songs, if you really know the category, they all are some real huge life lesson, and not even like some philosophical grand thing. They're just like day to day amazing realities. You know the
Mm,
story of how Ain't No Mountain High Enough is
yeah.
really about the buildings because Nick was living um, in the park, and he was saying that the no mountains high enough to keep me from getting to my goals, to reaching my dreams. New York is not going to take me out. Is what he said. So that kind of spirit is what's in the song. The industry, of course, made it the changes so it would be about two-person love, two heteronormative love. Oh, I love you, baby, 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 baby.
But when I heard that song, well, when I hear that song, as from my experience, I never thought about it in a relationship type of way. Like I
Right.
always thought about it as getting to the top of lights, like the top of like that song has always been like something to make me reach for that one and reach out and touch
Yes,
somebody's
the
hand. Like
church
those
song.
songs make me wanna just conquer the world, like conquer whatever it is that I want.
Every time I hear Ain't About High Enough, I think about, I never told Miss Valdez, but I think about, the song they sing after the preacher finishes. It's like, dun, 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 like, it's just that groove or that vibe is like, for me, I take it back to church because that's where they're
Definitely.
from. That's where they
That's where
met.
it came from.
That's where they met, right. And because that's the music, the school of music. But the point is that energy that they put into their songs and these messages, which is something that is prevalent in gospel music or in so which is our folk music here in the United States. It was born here. Are stories and messages and or warnings or little anecdotes, little tales. All of that goes into the music. So that is how you also make great R&B music or great soul. They would call it rhythm blues, but I'm gonna start calling it what Little Richard used to call it before they named it. He just called it the real thing. And that's
Mm,
what Nick and Val say. Ain't nothing like the real thing. So the
that's a
real
fact.
thing, is embodying. And there's other musicians that aren't necessarily soul musicians that do it well, like Bob Dylan, Joni Mitchell, Bonnie Raitt, Bruce Springsteen. Where the music, I'll even say Adele has such
Mm,
there's a real storyline into it because it has to do with what's really happening in the world and in the lives. It's not just um, tailored for some people in a big office somewhere taste. It's not tailored for these corporations taste. It's real music, real lived experience. And there's different stories, there's different sounds. It's like walking down the street. Everything is not just one same sound. There's someone laughing over here, someone's talking, there's someone. So the orchestra, that's within Ashford and Simpson's music, something that I've always noticed and that
mm-hmm.
I've been influenced by. Because all these songs are messages. They should be. That's what music is, in therapy. So.
And they have messages to give us, and they still giving us messages. Like that's how we know each other, due to their
Mhm.
messaging that they give us. Like it just never stops, and
Yeah.
we keeping the stories going, and they're continuing to help stories be told. It's just an amazing experience. You know what I'm saying? Like this whole journey of music, just being able to share, meet people who are like minded, and just making it happen. I have
Beautiful.
one more question for you. Like, as far as this whole, we spoke on like Apple Music and Spotify and stuff. How do you feel, and how do you feel like your artistry fits in this whole TikTok wave? Do you feel, have you been able to figure out a way to um be relevant on those platforms as well, or that's something that you just you're not gonna dive into?
Oh yeah, I have all kind of different ways and things you could do. What I've kind of figured out is that just doing it, and what is it is just doing what I do well, and
Mm-hmm.
figuring out how to do it. Because there's so many self-help classes and videos and people trying to give me tips. And if you do this, and you have to post this amount of time and all that. And quite frankly, just I mean, until you have a product or some shit people want to see or hear or consume, it doesn't matter what you do, really, uh, because even though social media becoming viral, becoming a content creator is in itself is a occupation, if you will, or a skill set.
Mm-hmm. It is. It really
Being an
is.
artist and a musician is separate from that. So every artist and musician has to find that way, just like Aretha, who was an amazing artist, but sometimes she would just wear whatever. Sometimes that piece between what what everyone tells you should do or how you should be and how you really are, there's a gap. So I'm still figuring mine out, but I always get followers. I have a lot of followers. I went viral once on TikTok for cooking
Nice.
for Thanksgiving. It was something that had nothing to do with my music. I
Yep, but
cooked.
it's soulful. It was
It's
soulful.
soulful. I know. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So it does. It did have something to do with me and what I want to do. And so it got crazy. It got like, it was over 1 million
Wow.
views and shares. And then it sent some people to my page. So cool. But, then I posted other stuff. The algorithm doesn't pick it back up. So you kind of have to work yourself with the algorithm and juggle what it is you do well with the algorithm. And I've had moments. So for me, it's been kind of like a up, down, up, down. And so usually about the third or fourth time, you're like, oh, okay. So it's on the upswing for me. But
But you don't get discouraged from if a moment doesn't go viral. You're not discouraged by
yeah,
it not going viral. You're more inspired by just creating another moment.
yeah, create another moment and just so that some people can see what I'm doing. People can go
Right.
to a place and see kind of what I'm doing. I don't need to creating the moment of getting famous because the thing is that the moment is outside, is off that phone, is out here in the real world. And all the connections that I made, they didn't find me from my page, you know.
That's a fact. It's just they
So,
follow you afterwards, and then you give them something to watch.
that's
Give them something
right every time. They from in so now and then of people. Okay, and one time I did this was interesting. I was going through this time where I was posting, and then I said, whatever, I'm gonna stop. I was tired of it. And then there was a Babyface challenge. Can we talk? No, it was a Tevin Campbell Can We Talk challenge.
Mm-hmm.
And so I posted mine. And hold on,
I
I'm sorry.
lost your videos going.
Oh no, I just came back in. I'm sorry.
But I can still hear you, so you can keep talking though.
Okay,
Yeah.
great, I'm back. So I posted my Can We Talk video. Uh, and like that, I'm like, what? The phone's just ding, 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 ding. I'm getting everybody, all these not requests, followers, um, all these likes, thousands and thousands of shares. And it was like, okay, on these upswing, because this is a challenge now. So you can use like challenges or something to kind of move.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't really have an issue with it. I just know that it's not healthy to be completely inundated with, being a social media star. So I don't put that much emphasis on it. And quite frankly, I do feel that the more that I create my art, I'm going to always have enough followers and people that are tuning into what I do.
Because you are the real thing.
Ain't nothing.
So when you start doing the trendy stuff, you
Hope so.
can't. It's like you get caught up in that, then people don't want to. For some people, because some people's art doesn't match the same level of the challenge. So
Okay.
if you match the challenge, if your music matches the
Yeah.
challenge that you're doing, then you should do the challenge. But if
That's
you don't,
yes.
if you don't have a Can We Talk or anything close to it, once the challenge is over and you're done going viral, we gotta listen to some crap after
Yeah.
the challenge. It's like, okay, there's nothing there. Something
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
there for the challenge, but it wasn't nothing there. Like originality, nothing original to continue to support.
Yeah. So yeah, and that's one thing that I do have, and that's original content because
And great content at that. So it's
my
what I'm
man,
saying.
thank
So
you.
that's why you're on the upswing of things, and I'm excited to see what 2025 is going to continue to do for you. Because every year that I've known you, you continue to elevate, and the music is getting better. The fans is getting crazier. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Everything is
Yeah.
happening the way it's supposed to happen, and we all super proud of you. I know that everyone in Alabama is crazy happy for you and everything that you've been able to accomplish from leaving Alabama and all these different states and countries and all kind of. You just doing the damn thing.
Thank you, man. I'm glad that we finally got to do this. This is great for
Yes.
me.
And my mom, this interview would be horrible if I don't tell you how my mom says hello, and she's a big fan. And
Please give her my love. That's my
I
girl.
will.
I love her.
Alabama love, Alabama love.
Always.
DJ, thank you so much for being a guest here on the Soul of the Streets. And before we leave, is there any advice you would give an artist who is coming up, an older artist, young artist, just that's looking to be inspired to just do something musically, but they're caught up in the hoopla of it all, and they just need to start. What kind of advice would you give a creative person, young or old, just to start?
Focus on the light.
That's all that needs to be said. Focus on the light. I can't wait. I can't wait for the video. I can't wait for all the great things that's gonna happen for the song. Until next time, my brother. And good luck. Continue blessings on this show with Val. Continue everything that you got going. Just continue to knock it out the park.
Now, wait a minute. Are you coming Saturday?
I'm thinking about because I went last week. I got to do some things this Saturday, so we're gonna see what happens. But that's my goal. My goal is to But by the time this interview come out, they won't know it'll be over.
Okay, fine. Well, anyway, well, much love. Thank you, G Waters.
Thank you, DJ. Until next time, be blessed. Stay blessed.
You too.
And Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, bro. All right, bye.
Peace.